here at Harbin 2, we play a game. I got to find another name for it. It's not really a game, but for lack of better terms, we play a game called Dinnertime.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Bump J. Y'all go get Dinnertime 2 while it is out. Y'all go get Dinnertime 2 while it is out. At Dinnertime, we ask you to pick 2 people throughout history, any era, dead or alive, right, that you would want to have dinner with. Those 2 people and you sitting down at the dinner table to have dinner, right? One of those people has to rep our hashtag, our tagline for Harbin 2 podcast is intellectual thuggery. One of the 2 people you sit down and have dinner with has to represent that of an intellect, the other that of a thug.
It seems as if one by default has to be more modern because thug is quite literally like a.
As you define it. As you define. I think thug. I could argue.
It's arguable.
That
sure.
thug is as primitive as an intellect. In fact, I would probably argue that thug is older than intellect.
Yeah, thug definitely came first.
Yeah, I would say people were thuggish before they were intellectual.
I mean, well, yeah. I mean, we get into the etymology of it. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I think being a thug is just more innate. It's about survival instinct.
Now, I've been thinking about this since yesterday, by the way.
Okay.
So that's how much I've been dreading it.
That's why you prayed?
You're right.
Send me a thug.
So, for dinner time, we ask that you find 2 people, any era, dead or alive, to have dinner with you, and for what reason you want to have dinner with those 2 people.
Man.
And again, this is as you define it. Don't have to be as society has defined them as a thug or society has defined them as an intellect, as you define it.
This is really difficult. I think I would say Maya Angelou. And I mean, and it's kind of hard to say because she's kind of both to me.
As what? That's what I was gonna say. As what? As which one?
I feel like she's kind of both. I would say probably the intellect.
Okay.
The intellectual. And this is an interesting spin on this.
Sure.
If you'll take it.
Sure.
I would choose Malcolm X when he was a thug. Like prior to him converting.
Detroit Red.
I would argue when wasn't he a thug, but go ahead.
He's always, exactly, so that's what I mean. It's one of those things where it's going to always be complex and nuanced, like how I feel about myself at times. So it would be them. And I think that, first off, I think we would just have a lot of fun.
We got to start keeping the tally of who appears the most at dinner time.
Yeah.
Because I feel like this is Malcolm X's.
Malcolm has appeared more than anybody.
I think this is his 3rd time at dinner.
I can see that.
2nd?
I can see that. I mean, I've always loved Malcolm X. Like, I mean, who doesn't? I mean, that's not true. A lot of people don't. But I think that his story has always been very fascinating to me, and particularly his Detroit Red version of himself, and or his prior life, and just how and just that resilience and that reinventing and the things, like, it just has always resonated with me. And Maya similarly, a very similar type of story. And so I think that anybody, any artist or social figure or whomever that is able to draw from that underbelly of whatever they've had to rough it through,
dig deep in there,
and come out on the other side and be like, and I was, and what?
And that.
And we still gonna talk this
and
shit.
That.
It's just something so dope about that to me. Like, neither of them ever shied away from.
I love that.
Who they were, what they came from. If anything, they put that shit on the table out the gate.
Come on.
And I.
So much more. So much more.
I loved it. So I think that's what the conversation would revolve around. I would just soak up anything they'd have to say. I probably wouldn't talk as much. I would just want to listen, just to the wisdom, and take that and just go full stride into just becoming.
Both of them suffered the ills and traumas of America too.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, in a very interesting way. Like, Maya was taken advantage of very early in her life. Malcolm, daddy was a Garveyite who was murdered. His mom went completely insane.
She was left by her second husband, and
pregnant. Malcolm was always like a top tier student. Maya stopped talking for 6 or 7 years. Man. Right, she also sold her body. You know what I mean? But to the point we was talking about earlier about like, it's not about putting up those boundaries. It's about embracing all of